afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second inauguration of Governor James G. Martin. The inaugural ceremony is over. The parade is scheduled to begin at about 1:30. We hope you'll stay with us for the rest of the afternoon because it promises to be full of excitement. We have a special program a little later on, but we're going to have fun today, so we hope you'll stay with us. My name is Audrey Cates Bailey.
And I'm Chris Fitzsimon. The speeches are done. The swearing in is done. We now have our governor inaugurated for the second time, James G. Martin, the Council of State, and so forth. So now that the ceremony is over, it's time to celebrate. What better way to do that than with the parade? To help us bring you coverage of the parade from down on the street and around with some of the spectators are two of our reporters. One is John Basin. John, how are things going over there?
Chris, I'm here on the Capitol side of Wilmington Street on the reviewing stand that'll soon be filled with dignitaries, the governor, the new lieutenant governor, members of the Council of State, and assorted family members. Kathleen McDonald has some information on the parade itself. Kathleen?
Thanks, John. Today, the parade is featuring 18 floats and 36 bands, and I spoke with some students who will be performing today. I spoke with them earlier this week, and most of them were very excited. There's a little bit of nervousness there, but they are excited. And Audrey, you must know how that feels. You were in a band way back when, weren't you? Way back. Thanks, Kathleen.
What did you play?
I played the clarinet.
Oh, okay.
Well, coming up now, we have a documentary about the governor's mansion, the mansion at 200 North Blunt Street. It chronicles the historic executive mansion's colorful history and recounts amusing anecdotes. You won't want to miss that. It's a co-production of the North Carolina Center for Cultural Resources and the University of North Carolina Center for Public Television. It features an original music score composed by a North Carolina composer and pianist, Louis McLaughlin. The program is hosted by Rosemary Harris.
The governor's family, this is Dr. Camp Martin, this is Christian
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our coverage of the second inauguration of Governor James G. Martin. The parade is about to begin. We hope you'll stay with us for what promises to be an exciting afternoon. I'm Audrey Cates Bailey.
And I'm Chris Fitzsimon. All the speeches have been made. Everyone has been sworn in. The governor's just arriving. So it's time now for the celebration, and the parade is the way to do that. To help bring you this parade coverage, we have a couple of reporters down on the street. One of them is John Basin, who's near the reviewing stand. John, things seem to be filling up over there.
Chris, I'm here on the Capitol side of Wilmington Street next to the reviewing stand that's now filling up with dignitaries, the governor, the new lieutenant governor, members of the Council of State, and assorted family members. Kathleen McDonald has some information on the parade itself.
Thank you, John. The parade today features 18 floats and 36 bands, and I spoke with some of the students who will be performing today, and all of them said they were very excited, a little bit nervous, but that's to be expected performing an inauguration parade, isn't it, Chris?
It sure is. It sure is, Kathleen. And I think one of the bands you had a chance to talk to has a kind of unusual story. One of the honor bands who had some problems last year. Isn't that right?
That's right. One of the bands leading today's parade is from Wilson, North Carolina. They'll be performing an arrangement of patriotic music, a combination of America and Grand Old Flag. And like all the bands performing today, they're doing so by memory alone. And doing that takes a lot of practice.
When the Wilson Fike High School band marches in today's parade, they'll look and sound polished. But days before, during practice sessions, students were still struggling to get it right.
Let's try again. Okay, ready?
inauguration, we haven't had time to think. It's sort of like a shock. You go into it and you don't have time to think about it, so you just do it.
The Wilson Fike Band is one of 2 honor bands chosen by Governor Martin to lead this year's inauguration parade. Band instructor Cleveland Flo says he's pleased with the governor's decision, considering that 4 years ago, Governor Martin left the reviewing stand before Wilson Fike marched by.
We were near the end of the parade, and we had to march to empty streets and empty stands.
But Flo and the students agree that being chosen as an honor band makes up for the past.
It's different. It's not just a holiday parade. It only happens once every 4 years. And to be nominated to be the first one in that parade is a great honor.
This is the first inauguration where Wilson Fike has had top billing. In fact, they've had top billing 3 times. They performed during Governor Holzhauser's inauguration, and they also performed when Governor Hunt was inaugurated. Chris?
Thanks, Kathleen. And I think we're still waiting for Wilson Fike and some of the parade festivities to begin. It looks like almost everyone has been seated. Most of the Council of State, the governor and Lieutenant Governor James Gardner both arrived to resounding ovations. Audrey, this is a new experience for Jim Gardner, but Jim Martin's been through it before.
Yes, he has. And one big difference between this one and the last inauguration is the weather. Although it's not as warm as we hoped it would be, it's a lot warmer than it was 4 years ago.
This is a little different parade. Most parades are the celebration of a beginning, and this one is certainly that, but it's also a kind of a goodbye party for Thad Ure, a man who's been Secretary of State for 52 years, the longest public service of any public elected official in the United States. So I know he has mixed emotions about this. He's been through so many of these, and this is his last one.
He has to have some very special feelings, and I can just imagine what he's going through today. There are some people sitting on the reviewing stand who won't be here for a while. They are also outgoing dignitaries, but everybody's waiting for the parade. It's going to be an exciting one. We hope you'll stay with us for the rest of the day. We're going to have a little bit of fun.
We'll mention one more thing about the Council of State, and then I promise we'll stop talking politics. There is one more new member, and of course that's former State Representative Bobby Etheridge, who's now Superintendent of Public Instruction. This is a new experience for him, sitting on the reviewing stand as a member of the Council of State.
All right. Now, we have a package here for us. Now, what actually goes into planning an event such as an inaugural parade? Now, as Natalie Haskins tells us, this one took close to 1,000 volunteers under the guidance of a man whose specialty is inaugurating.
Planning that starts several months ahead of time.
The planning begins in mid-November and brings together a lot of organizations who are savvy, experienced people who deal with this sort of thing.
The inaugural planning committee meets several times to hash out details like what the invitation should say, where the officials should sit, and how many units should make up the parade. That one is easy. 126 bands, floats, and cars will be in the parade this time.
But most of the preparation takes place the day before. Workers will be out today and tonight setting up chairs and bleachers, while others will be hanging decorations along the streets and on state buildings.
Crews will work all night long. We're going to have tents out there so if it is real cold that they can get in the warm area. And
Colonel Charles Minuch has been involved in the planning of inaugural parades since 1949, and he's gained a reputation as a master.
Colonel Minuch, as the expression goes, wrote the book.
Proof of Minuch's mastery is evident when the streets of downtown Raleigh are transformed into the center of North Carolina's inaugural celebration.
Here comes Fike, so what, you want to come? Come down the street, Audrey.
The Golden...
Wilson Fike Band, as Kathleen McDonald told you, has kind of an unusual history. They were preparing to play in last year's band and I guess just ran out of time, didn't they, Audrey?
Yes, the parade ended officially before the band came through. A lot of the members were understandably very disappointed, and so they received the honor position today. They're the Golden Demons from Wilson, North Carolina.
And they are an honor band of the governor. There are Lieutenant Governor and Governor both have several honor bands. This Wilson Fike is an honor band of Governor James G. Martin.
66 members strong.
governor seems to really be enjoying this. Agriculture Commissioner James Graham lit up a cigar for Mr. Martin, and now he's really getting into some of the music here, I think.
Puffing and clapping, really enjoying the band, and I can say that Wilson Pike Band has done their hometown proud. Now they are being followed by the North Carolina Army National Guards, Company C, 1st Battalion, 120th Infantry. They are the governor's honor unit. Governor Martin, of course, giving the salute to the troops.
Next up is a man who has a lot of things to do with the government and laws of North Carolina, Chief Justice of the State Supreme Court, James Exum, and his wife, Mrs. Exum, coming by the reviewing stand now. And now I'm afraid we're going to have to hear Audrey sing her hometown song.
Well, I have to. This is the Rocky Mount Senior High Marching Band, 180 strong, the Griffons. The Griffons. And don't they look wonderful? Yes, indeed. And, of course, they are the Lieutenant Governor's Honor Band. He is, of course, from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. The director of the band is John C. Sykes. It's a very strong and award-winning band. They've marched in presidential inaugurations.
They've marched in the McDonald's, there's been a McDonald's All-America band. This band has been honored many, many times. Next up is another Supreme Court justice. It's Justice and Mrs. Burley Mitchell of the Supreme Court.
Louis B. Meyer.
Oh,
we have right here Justice and Mrs. Louis Meyer.
And then must be Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, Justice Mitchell is next. Known for his deep, resounding voice. He seems pretty happy today. All right, we have another military unit following Justice Mitchell. This is the Color Guard from the 3rd Battalion, 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment, and they're from Fort Bragg, the 82nd Airborne Division. Fort Bragg was named for Thomas Bragg, who was governor from 1855 to 1859. He was a Democrat and Attorney General of the Confederacy. Just a little bit of information for you history buffs.
And they are being followed by the 82nd Airborne Division Band, also from Fort Bragg. Always look forward to that, one of the best bands, I think, in the parade every 4 years. Let's take a listen now to the 82nd Airborne Division Band.
And this is the 3rd Battalion, 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment. They're also from Fort Bragg. Governor Martin giving the salute.
I think his arm's going to get tired. He's going to have to salute a lot today.
Comes with the territory. And here we have Justice and Mrs. Harry C. Martin.
No relation, we should point out, to Governor James G. Martin. A lot of Martins.
Ah, he's taking a picture. Big day for him, too. And coming up the street, the Lee County Senior High School Marching Band, the Yellow Jackets they are called, 114 strong. They're from Sanford, North Carolina. And I see here they've also won quite a few honors.
Well, nothing but the best for the governor's inaugural. All these award-winning bands coming down the street. Governor Martin's going to get tired. He's been saluting. He's standing the whole time. I guess he's just so excited to be facing another 4 years. Now, Audrey, another Supreme Court justice coming down the street, someone you're fairly familiar with.
Oh, yes. This is Supreme Court Justice and Mrs. Henry Fry from Greensboro, North Carolina. A former legislator and
now the moment I've been waiting for.
Aha.
Miss North Carolina is our next entry in the parade, Lee Beeman. And I believe Miss Beeman is a native of Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right, now we have the Bandy's High School Trojan Marching Band, and they are 85 members strong. They're from Catawba, North Carolina. Yes,
It's got to be a great thrill for these young people to come from all over North Carolina and perform in front of the governor, the council of state, and really all of the state through television. It must be a big feeling for these young people.
And actually, this isn't the first time this band has played for the governor. They played at a whistle stop in October in Hickory, North Carolina, for Governor Martin. We have another Supreme Court Justice, Justice and Mrs. John Webb.
And again, that's another Supreme Court Justice. I believe this car is Justice and Mrs. Willis Witchard. I think that's almost it for our Supreme Court, isn't it?
It should be.
Most of them have come through.
Justice Witchard is from Durham, North Carolina, another former legislator. Now, here we have a color guard, the 2nd Marine Color Guard.
From Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, right near in Jacksonville.
Followed by a sharp unit. Of course, Governor Martin saluting the United States Marine Corps Band, also from Camp Lejeune. Salute to the governor.
Okay.
Dramatic pause there by the
definitely wonderful.
Okay, as you see, Governor and Mrs. Martin and the grandchild applauding and saluting there. We're going to go to Kathleen McDonald, who has someone for us. Kathleen?
Hi, I'm with Senator Larry Cobb, representing the 35th District in Charlotte. Senator Cobb, you seem to be enjoying yourself so far today.
Oh, very definitely. It's It's a lot more fun when we inaugurate Republican governors for me.
You said this is your third time and you only come when it's a Republican?
Just come when they're Republicans. I served with Jim Holshouser. In fact, his sister-in-law is sitting with us. And, of course, this is my second time with Governor Martin.
That's an exciting thing to know, too, that this is the first time in this century that a Republican has been nominated twice or has become governor twice.
Of course, it's the first time we've had a Republican eligible, and so we're running 100% right now. It's also a real thrill to have a Republican lieutenant governor for the first time in this century.
Okay, well, we thank you for joining us.
Okay,
Back to you, Chris and Audrey.
Okay, now here comes one of the public service floats. It's a governor's highway safety program about wearing your seatbelts, and there's a big familiar face at the end of that float with a lot of small smiling faces in front of him.
Don't be a dummy. Be sure to buckle up for safety.
Even Air Jordan buckles his belt, I think, when he drives.
All right, now following this float is the East Wilkes High School Band. They're from Rhonda, North Carolina.
This is a little unusual. This high school is very small, so 1A school in the entire school. Only about 500 or 600 students go there, so you know this is a big thrill.
We also have with them the North Wilkes High School Band. They decided to join forces to salute the governor today. The North Wilkes High School Band is from Hayes, North Carolina, another small town, but they seem to be blending together quite well.
With a patriotic sound today.
I have a feeling we're going to hear quite a few of those patriotic songs today. Now, coming up is the Kabbalah Temple Masonic Lodge from Raleigh, North Carolina. And they're quite colorful.
Yeah, I think they win the color award so far, if one were being handed out. There's Governor Martin again with his cigar. He really has been a trooper through this. But it's his day. I guess this parade basically is for him and the people who elected him.
All right, now here we have an M3 Bradley Infantry Fighting Vehicle. It normally carries 3 personnel. This is... All right.
That thing weighs 25 tons. I hope Wilmington Street can hold it up.
I think if anyone saw that coming, they'd move out of the way, definitely. Doesn't it make you feel safe?
Yeah, as long as it's on the road. If it starts turning this way, I'm not going to feel too safe.
Oh.
That is a big vehicle. It has a lot of armament in that. 25mm main gun, a tow missile launcher. That's quite an impressive piece of military equipment. And again, it gets the gubernatorial salute as it goes by the reviewing stand.
And we have another band, the Lincolnton High School Band. Of course, from Lincolnton, North Carolina. It's the Wolfpack Band. Incidentally, Lincolnton, of course, was named for Lincoln, who a native son governor, and also from Lincoln was William A. Graham, who was governor from 1845 to 1849. Another one of those historic facts we want to throw in every now and then.
Also a strong area of support for Governor Martin, a strong Republican county, Lincoln. Audrey, I think you just like them because they're the Wolfpack Band and you went to North Carolina State.
Guilty. They look good.
The next parade unit is the float, and it's from the United Way, of course, a nonprofit organization. This float, however, is sponsored by Burroughs Welcome.
The United Way, incidentally, is an organization that funds 53 agencies at the local, state, and national levels. People helping people the American way is the theme of this float.
And of course, we've been so accustomed to hearing their slogan, "Thanks to you, it works for all of us," the United Way. That's certainly a beautiful float.
Oh, sweet face there.
She looks like she's enjoying herself. Uh-oh, get out of the way, get out of the way.
Ah, here we go, here we go. The Amran Temple Keystone Cops.
Okay, Audrey, I think John Besa now has someone with him that has some information about these festivities. John?
Chris, I'm here with State Representative Teresa Esposito, who, as you can see, is a staff member today. She's working hard to keep things going. Are the logistics working smoothly today?
They're going very, very well today, and we're probably right on precision perfect. The parade should end at about 3 o'clock, and we're right on schedule with everything that's going, and everything we feel is run very smoothly. Everything of the box lunches have gone, the blankets are in place, umbrellas are in place in case for a sudden downpour, and everyone is moving along just greatly. We're very honored and thrilled to be here today.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. Chris?
Thanks, John. Audrey, I think we have a pipe band next up.
Yes, it's the North Carolina Shrine Temple Pipe Band, and they're from Garner, North Carolina, resplendent in their kilts.
And here's some guys that are certainly glad it's not cold.
We have another float coming up.
It's the North Carolina Aggregates Association float, and their theme is Building Roads for Progress. That's one of the more elaborate floats in the parade so far.
And speaking of roads, I guess isn't time for another one of those facts. Governor Cameron Morris had the nickname the Good Roads Governor. Who was that, gentlemen?
That was Uncle Sam, I think, there for a second. There's, of course, is the reviewing stand. One interesting thing about the reviewing stand I think we should mention is that that material was actually sewn by inmates at Women's Prison here in Raleigh. So it's not just the folks you see here today that have worked so hard to make this parade possible.
It was a large cooperative effort. Raleigh Police had a hand in it, the Department of Transportation. Everybody did their part. It takes a lot to put a parade such as this together. And I think everything is falling into place quite well.
Picture perfect, I think, Representative Esposito said. Precision perfect.
And here we have another band, the Pamlico County High School Band from Bayboro, North Carolina, playing. Oh, nothing could be finer than to be in North Carolina. The governor seems to be enjoying it.
Nothing could be finer than to be reelected in North Carolina.
All right, here we go. The Sudan Temple Animated Animal Unit. They're from Clayton, North Carolina. A big bunny rabbit running down the street.
It's a little early for Easter.
Ooh.
Oh. Audrey, who is that?
I can't say. Let's see, we've got Pink Panther, and is that Sylvester? The children seem to love it. Hello. So does it, maybe he's a kid at heart.
Maybe.
And we have a little music also from the Sudan Animated Unit. I guess he's the ringmaster to keep the animals in line.
You better hurry up. They're getting ahead of him.
All right, we have another military machine. This is a howitzer.
M110, right?
Self-propelled. Weighs approximately 53,600 pounds. An 8-inch howitzer, and it has a top speed of 35 miles an hour.
That is an impressive machine.
Look at the tank on that baby. Governor's impressed.
Yeah, he may call that back to town when the legislature comes back. He could probably use that.
Keep everybody in line. All right, we have another band coming up. This is the Northwest Ashe High School Band from Warrensville, North Carolina. Ashe County, honoring Samuel Ashe, a patriot who served as the state's Chief Justice and then as its 9th governor from 1795 to 1798. The county, by the way, was established in 1799. Ooh,
there's a young guy. He's more worried about what he's got there to eat, I think, than what bands are coming by.
Oh, I have a feeling he'll get into this. Let's go, Northwest High School. Sharp uniforms.
Now let's take you back in time a little bit. The next unit, I guess, parade unit is the 2nd North Carolina Regiment of Foot. Of course, they're Revolutionary War soldiers, or dressed as.
Now, this 2nd North Carolina Regiment of Foot was formed in 1792 and is an example of history as it might have been during colonial America.
These guys were born in 1792?
The group was formed then. I wonder if they're going to fire.
Duck.
Well, they're just going to give us a salute here.
And there's Lieutenant Governor Jim Gardner enjoying the festivities with State Republican Chairman Jack Hawk.
And we have another float, united with you against impaired and drunk drivers. This is the Governor's Highway Safety Program float. MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, and Students Against Drunk Drivers. Please don't drink and drive.
That got quite a response from the reviewing stand.
All right.
Next up, it's the Elkin High School Marching Ambassador Band. Of course, they're from Elkin, North Carolina.
Now this is interesting. The drum major is on an electric podium moving down the street. I don't think I've seen that before.
I hope his batteries last on the parade.
That's quite
that thing works. You suppose there's somebody sitting in that driving?
He's buckled in too.
In fact, Governor Martin just asked him who was driving that.
The Bucking Elks. This has got to be an exciting day for these kids.
I'm sure.
And we have another float, the Mount Olive College Singers. Celebrate America.
Okay, now I think, Kathleen, you have somebody down there to talk to. Kathleen?
Thank you, Chris. Hi, I'm with Mel and Henry Stocks from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. They say that they're both real fans of Governor Martin, and they're enjoying today so far, aren't you?
Absolutely. It's a marvelous parade. I wish it were a wee bit warmer, but it's much nicer than it was 4 years ago.
How was it 4 years ago? Wasn't it
very cold?
You have to be happy with today, then.
Pardon?
And you have to be happy with today.
Absolutely.
You said, Henry, you're a real Governor Martin's supporter.
Very much so. We support good government, and we're for two-party system, but we got good government now, so just keep him.
Okay, well, we hope you're enjoying the parade today. Thank you. Back to you, Chris.
Very much.
Okay, now you're looking at the end of the Red Springs High School marching band there coming by. And of course, Red Springs, a town that came back from a lot of adversity. I guess it was 1984 when tornadoes, much like the ones that wreaked so much havoc in Raleigh, went through Red Springs. That town certainly has rebounded in a great way.
Definitely. And Raleigh will do the same. Uh-oh. He lost something.
Lost the pants out there.
The clowns are a very popular part of the parade. And all right, coming up, we have another parade dignitary. This is the Cherokee Chief, Jonathan L. Taylor, and the Vice Chief, Bill Ledford.
Well, I only see one in there.
Well, I think maybe that's the
chief, Jonathan Taylor. He's getting a big hand from the Council of State, Rufus Edmiston, and Jim Long, and so forth. Oh, here comes another one. Watch out, Audrey.
Uh-oh, here we go.
This is a M109, 155 millimeter self-propelled howitzer. It's an artillery piece of equipment that's sponsored or comes from the North Carolina Army National Guard.
26.5 tons. These things are powerful, but not very fast. Another one that can only go 35 miles an hour.
Well, when you have that big a cannon, I guess you don't need people running from you. You're not running from them.
All right, we have another band. This is the Ledford Senior High School Marching Panther Band from Thomasville, North Carolina.
There's a young Governor Martin supporter there, Audrey. Wonder if he's too young to vote. Maybe he'll talk his parents into voting for who Governor Martin needs to help him.
Now, this is another award-winning band, received 15 superior and 1 excellent rating in marching competitions over the last 4 years. And, of course, they are very happy to be here today, participating in this exciting parade. Large band.
125 members.
And I guess we can understand why that band won first place in 3 competition Christmas parades. Now we have another float.
It's the Wake County Special Olympics float. It's sponsored by the Capital Associates Incorporated in Cary, North Carolina, another public service float. And the Special Olympics certainly a cause that everyone feels very good about. Quite a thrill, I'm sure, for these young people and those young people on the sidelines. Has that guy got some cotton candy already?
Uh-oh, here we go. The Hillbilly Clan, another shrine entry.
Was Jethro in this? The Hillbilly Clan, that's got some country ham hanging there.
Ooh, it's the Amran Temple from Raleigh.
I thought this was the Partridge Family bus here for a second, but this is more the Hillbilly Clan. In fact, they've got several vehicles.
Oh, poor thing. I think he's a little chilly. I bet he has a few questions about this group.
A lot of interesting slogans on that. Whoa, boy, and Kiss My Grits.
There's a lot of them.
Wonder where you take a car like that to get worked on.
Great paint job. Okay, uh-oh, what's that on the back there? I believe it was a still. All right. The Seymour Johnson Air Force Base Color Guard, 4th Services Squadron. Bringing the colors down the street.
Really makes a beautiful scene with all the state government buildings in the background, the historic Capitol, all the color.
The 4th Services Squadron. I wonder how many parades they've marched.
Boy, parades and national anthems at games. Sure, they stay busy.
And following close behind is yet another band, this one from Cary. Cary High School Marching Band.
The Cary Imps, right?
Yes. From Wake County, and that means it's time for another historic fact. Wake County, established in 1770 and named for Margaret Wake, the maiden name of Governor William Tryon's wife. How's that?
Oh, that's pretty good trivia.
Yeah. Incidentally, the home county of most governors, Wake had 4 governors. Charles Manley. Let's listen to this band. Ooh, that's bright. Okay, coming up we have Athletes Against Drugs, sponsored by the Wake County Committee, and we have quite a few famous athletes on the float. Jeff Bodine, Stedman Graham.
Go ahead. I was just going to say Stedman Graham, the founder of Athletes Against Drugs.
Yes,
Jeff Bodine, of course, the well-known NASCAR driver. A lot of other names on there. James Bone Crusher Smith, the heavyweight boxing champion from Fayetteville.
Would-be politician. Anthony Barber, the running back from North Carolina State.
And Tommy Byrne, I believe, is also on the float. He's a former New York Yankee pro baseball player. So quite a collection of athletes on this float.
Stedman Graham, now a North Carolina resident. I think he has another claim to fame. I have to mention it. Oprah, I wonder if she's here.
There's
Bone Crusher. All right, we have another military unit coming up.
See, Fayetteville Independent Light Infantry.
They're from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Historic Military Command, North Carolina Militia. It's an organized unit of the state militia, organized in 1793, and it's the oldest militia unit in continuous existence in the South and the second oldest in the United States.
Quite a record.
And following behind, the East Lincoln Senior High School Band from Denver, North Carolina. Another award-winning band, the National Field Show for 1989 Gator Bowl, grand champion of the Foothills Championship in Forest Hills.
128 members in the East Lincoln Band, marching Mustangs. It's interesting how North Carolina has so many cities. There's a Denver, North Carolina, a Dallas, North Carolina. Getting quite a hand from the reviewing stand.
have some more clowns coming up. This is the Sudan Dunn Clowns group from Benson, North Carolina. What a group. Let's give you a few more historic facts here. Did you know, Chris, that the most popular profession of governors is lawyer? Imagine that. We've had 39 of them. Second most popular, farmers and planters. We've had 11 of those.
We don't have a lawyer this time.
All right, I believe Kathleen McDonald is down on the street. Kathleen, how's it going?
It's going great down here, Audrey. I'm with Hannah and Kimball Byron of Raleigh, and they have their son here, Philip, who's a year and a half, and this is his first parade, isn't it?
That's correct.
How's he having? Is he having a good time so far?
He's having a wonderful time. We live in the neighborhood, and I'm a state employee and a fan of Governor Martin, so this has been a fun afternoon for us.
So you starting him out early, coming to an inauguration parade?
There you go. There you have it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and back to you, Chris and Audrey.
That was interesting. Governor Martin opened his speech today with a big round of thanks to all state employees for all the hard work that they do to keep state government moving, bring all the services to the people of the state. And there's the governor.
The governor likes the clowns as well.
It's going to be a busy day for Governor Martin. You know, the festivities don't end at the parade. He's got an inaugural ball to look forward to tonight, which is always a very formal and entertaining event for everyone.
And then tomorrow, the reception at the mansion, which is open to the public.
And then the celebration ends and the work starts. The General Assembly comes to town on Wednesday, and Governor Martin's still preparing his budget, so he's enjoying the festivities while he can. He's got a lot of work to do coming up.
Fun before the work.
Here's another public service float. It's the Hardee's Just Say No to Drugs float. Sponsored, of course, by Hardee's.
And on the float, we have students from Cary High School. Most of them, I believe, are athletes. There seem to be a lot of floats and groups that are really pushing this anti-drug campaign, which is wonderful.
Driving, right. And in fact, all these athletes that you see on this float have attended a conference, a coach and athlete drug conference, to stop the use of drugs among our youth.
Oh, colorful two Indians we have sitting on the back. And coming up, we have High Point Central High Marching Band from High Point, of course.
It's another large band. There's 110 musicians in the band.
The Black Bison Marching Band. And they call themselves a very upbeat and exciting group.
We'll let you decide. Well, I think they were right. That was pretty upbeat and exciting, wasn't it?
Those drums, beating. All right, now we have the U.S. Coast Guard, a military group from Elizabeth City. They're stationed at the U.S. Coast Guard Support Center.
Sometimes people, when they think of military, really forget the Coast Guard, and they certainly do a wonderful service, doing a lot of things, but primarily fighting drugs and also helping boaters that are having problems off our coast.
Now, Elizabeth City is in Pasquotank County, which incidentally was the birthplace
another fact.
Of John C. Ehringhaus, who was governor from 1933 to 1937.
It's so cold your mouth is locking up on it. Okay, down the road now, coming up is the Farmville Central High School Marching Band. 96 members. Go ahead, Audrey.
Craig Everett is the band director.
Of course, Farmville is the hometown of Congressman Walter Jones, who's been congressman for many, many years from the eastern part of North Carolina, the 1st Congressional District.
Very powerful member of our Congress.
This band has done a lot of things, including winning first place at the famous Aiden Collard Festival, which is always a lot of fun. Seems like every month they've won an award here.
Uh-oh. actually not playing a military song. I can't believe it. Shall we sing along?
You can.
I think we'll spare the audience.
I think even George Benson was proud of this rendition of On Broadway. All they need, Audrey, is your clarinet playing, and then they would be complete.
All right, this is the Sudan Fire Brigade, another shrine unit from New Bern, North Carolina. New Bern, selected to be the first capital of the independent state of North Carolina. It's the second oldest city in North Carolina, and native sons, Richard Dobbs Speight, who was governor from 1792 to 1795, and then his son. All right, now John Basin is on the street with a guest. John?
Oh, actually, I'm up off the street in the corner of the reviewing stand with Charles and Lewis Brooks, the sons of North Carolina's labor commissioner. Guys, I saw you earlier munching down on the bagged box lunch that they had, and it looked like there were some big brownies, and I bet what I really want is a review of those brownies. Were they good?
Yes.
Tell me what else was in that box lunch.
2 sandwiches and some soup.
Soup? Was it still hot?
Yep.
Very good. You guys enjoying you must be enjoying the parade. You just turned away from the TV camera to take a look. Are you having a good time? This is probably your 3rd or 4th inaugural? Is this not their first inaugural, Mrs. Brooks?
Johnny's been inaugurated 4 times, but they weren't born the first time.
My mistake.
And this is the first time they've sat in the reviewing stand.
Very good, very good. So you guys are having a good time out here today? Are you warm enough? I noticed they brought some blankets out a little earlier. Freezing? Yeah. Freezing. The word down here is freezing. And I can attest to that too. Chris, back to you.
John, I thought you were going to, I know it's freezing. You're probably hungry too. I was worried about that little, I'm glad that child had already eaten. Afraid you're going to take some of his food down there.
That military group we saw was the North Carolina State Militia from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And coming up now, we have the E.A. Laney High School Band from Wilmington. That's New Hanover County.
And we saw a public service float earlier with a picture of Michael Jordan on it. This is Michael Jordan's high school, Laney High School in North Carolina. It's interestingly enough, Michael Jordan was cut from the basketball team when he first tried out.
Interestingly enough, this is another award-winning band, and they've performed quite a bit. Let's see, at Disney World, the Azalea Festival, in the Bahamas, in Canada, Six Flags over Atlanta. Traveling band.
Having some fun.
Hang on just
There's a good look at the full contingent from Wilmington Laney. Okay, now I think John Basin has one of our new Council of State members with him, just beside the reviewing stand. John, go ahead.
Chris, I am here with former state representative and our newest member of the Council of State, Bob Etheridge. Your first inaugural from the reviewing stand as a member of the Council of State. How does it feel?
Cold.
Cold.
It's cold.
That's to the point.
It could be tougher, but it really is nice. Weather could be a lot worse. We expected sunshine, but it's a lovely day, and I think for all of us who've looked forward to it, and it's really a nice bit of pageantry today, and that's what today's about. Monday morning will be a time to go to work.
That's right. A brief business question. How did the transition go, and are you looking forward to sitting down at that desk, or have you already?
Well, I am looking forward to sitting down. We think it's gone very well thus far. We'll hit the ground running Monday morning, and in the next few weeks and months, we'll have more and more things to say. But I really feel good about the enthusiasm I see out there, not only in the classroom, but in the business community with legislators, other elected officials. I think we're poised right now for some real strong movements in public education in North Carolina. I look forward to having a hand in being a part of it.
Very good. Thank you for your time. Chris?
Hey, thank you. Thank you, John. We're coming back in the midst of the North Carolina Army National Guard. Audrey?
And coincidentally, while we were talking to our superintendent of public instruction, the Indian Educational Organization float went by from Lumberton, North Carolina. Now we have the North Carolina Army National Guard and the Army National Guard massed colors from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Those colors are battalion-sized colors from Army National Guard units all over the state of North Carolina. Represents 12,000 members of the Army National Guard in North Carolina.
Okay, and we have the Golston High School Band. Goldsboro, I'm sorry, the Goldsboro High School Band.
140 members in the Goldsboro Band. Of course, Goldsboro is the home of another famous politician, or soon to be very famous, Senate President Pro Tem Henson Barnes, who will be leading the Democrats in the General Assembly when they convene Wednesday.
You want to know who else was from Wayne County?
Go ahead.
How about Governor Charles B. Aycock, who was governor from 1901 to 1905?
I knew it was a historical fact.
There'll be a pop quiz at the end of this parade.
This is a large band.
140 members. Mr. Clifton Scott is the band director.
Reviewing stand got a chance to see them up close as they stopped for a while. Governor Martin still remains standing and clapping and seems to be really enjoying himself.
Hey, it's his day. It's his day. All right, we have float here. This is a political float from the Catawba County Republican Party. They have a lot to celebrate today.
They sure do. Not only the first time a Republican's ever been re-elected as governor, but the first Republican lieutenant governor in this century, Jim Gardner. The theme of this float is Today's Education for Tomorrow's Jobs.
All right, Kathleen's down on the street with a guest. Kathleen?
Hi, I'm with Brian Chapman, and he's with the Young Republicans Club, and you are selling buttons of Governor Martin and also of our president-to-be.
Right. President Bush and Vice President Dan Quayle, Inauguration Day buttons, and a picture of Jim Martin. We have Gardner Martin buttons similar to the Bush Quayle that didn't arrive for today. So we're handing out order blanks for those, and hopefully people are going to be mailing them back to our YR Club.
So people are ordering buttons of him because you didn't have them today?
Exactly, right.
How are sales going so far?
Well, it's been good. Little competition today. Last time the Wire Club did this, and we were the only ones doing it, and you know, we obviously probably had more of the market then, but it's going good.
How much is a button?
The buttons are 2 for $5.
That's a pretty good price, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 for $5, $3 each.
Okay, thank you very much. Back to you, Audrey and Chris.
All right, that float was from the Department of Agriculture, and the theme Goodness Grows in North Carolina, and on the float were the watermelon and strawberry queens.
Can't have too many queens. Next up is the Garner Senior High School Marching Band, the Mighty Trojan, of course, Mighty Trojan Marching Band. Of course, Garner was the state 4A football championship last year. And we met or saw Anthony Barber earlier on the Athletes in Action float. And Anthony Barber, who goes to North Carolina State, is from Garner High School.
Yay, yay. 77 members. The band director is Mr. Terry Barnhart.
Speaking of awards, this band has won 26 awards this fall and winter. So we're looking at a winner here.
They were at the Hall of Fame Bowl in Tampa, Florida this past weekend, but they made it back in time for the inauguration. All right.
I guess that's what these youngsters get for marching in the cold and everything else. They get to travel all over the United States.
And here's everybody's friend, Smokey the Bear, the North Carolina Forest Service. Please help prevent forest fires.
Smokey being driven, of course, by one of the North Carolina Rangers, Forest Ranger. There's Smokey. And Governor Martin shows the bear that he put his cigar out already. So Governor Martin's helping prevent fires.
Oh, all right. Here we have Chief W.R. Richardson and Princess Kamika Wilson. They are from the Halawasaponi Indian tribe in Hollister, North Carolina. And he's smoking his peace pipe, I believe.
Maybe Governor Martin could use that. Liston Ramsey.